Hello, in this video we are going to talk about tenfold dilution, and on your screen you have a diagram of original sample. It could be a soil sample or sewage sample, and what we are doing is we are diluting this sample to reduce the number of original bacterial population in the original sample. So we are taking 1 ml from the original sample and adding it into a tube where you already have 9 ml of diluent present in the tube. So you're adding 1 ml into a total of 10 ml. Okay, and that is why it's called tenfold dilution, because every single tube that you dilute into is going to be either 10 ml total or a multiple of 10. So it can be 10, 100, 1000, something like that, but it's going to be a multiple of 10. It is easy to calculate because of 10 and then back calculate because of 10 as well. So tenfold dilution is usually preferred over any other dilution factors. So here we are adding 1 ml in 10 ml, and that's going to be your dilution of that tube for that working. Then you're adding again 1 ml in 10 total, 1 ml in 10 total. You're taking 1 ml and adding it into 9 to make a 10 total, and you keep on doing that to dilute your sample. So every tube is basically adding 1 ml from the previous tube into a 9 ml of diluent to make a total 10. So every tube is 1 to 10 dilution here. However, that's not the total dilution, because total dilution is dilution factor from your original sample. So now let's talk about total dilution. First tube, you're taking a sample from the original sample, 1 ml into a total of 9. So your dilution factor is 1 to 10. That's your tube dilution factor, the total dilution factor. Many times you will write it as 10 to the power minus 1, because remember, 1 out of 10 is same as 1 divided by 10 is same as 0.1. It is same as 10 to the power minus 1. They all are same. Okay, metric system. If you want to take a look at these conversions, go back to your metric system and review the document. But 1 to 10 is same as 10 to the power minus 1. This is a total dilution factor of your tube number 1. Now talking about tube number 2, you're making 1 to 10 dilution from 1 to 10 dilution. So your dilution factors are going to multiply. So 1 times 1, that's 1, and 10 times 10, that's 100. So your total dilution factor now for tube number 2 is actually 1 in 100, which is 10 to the power minus 2. Easier way to do this is also just count the number of zeros and then minus that number. That will be your dilution factor. The tube number 3 is going to be 1 in 1000. Remember, 10, 20, 30. So 1 in 1000, and 10 to the power minus 3 will be the dilution factor for your tube number 3 here. Tube number 4 will be 10 to the power minus 4, 10 to the power minus 5, 10 to the power minus 6, 10 to the power minus 7, 10 to the power minus 8. This is easy because we are only adding 1 in 10, 1 in 10, 1 in 10 all the way to tube number 8. So again, this is tenfold dilution, and we are adding 1 ml in a total of 10 ml. So your exponent will increase with 1 digit, of course, and this will be your dilution. These numbers right here will be your total dilution factor or net dilution factor of your tubes. Okay, now this was a little bit easy, so let's go ahead and see what if you use multiples of 10 but not exactly 10. So in this case we are going to add first as 1 ml into a total of 9, which is going to make a total of 10. So this is still 1 to 10 dilution. 10 to the power minus 1 is a dilution factor of your tube number 1 here. But then you decide to use less number of tubes, and because you're using less number of tubes, you want to speed up the process. So you're using 1 ml from tube number 1 and adding it into 99 ml diluent in tube number 2. So now your total is 1 ml or into a total of 100 ml. That is what you worked with in tube number 2. So your dilution factor or total dilution factor of your tube is going to be 10 to the power minus 3. Because if you think this is 1 to 100 dilution of 1 to 10. So 1 times 1, that's 1, and 10 times 100, that's 1,000. So this is the dilution factor of the tube, which is 10 to the power 3. Now if you add again 1 ml into a total of 10, so this will be 10 to the power minus 4. Then you decide to skip one more time, and 1 ml into 99 total diluent to make 100. So that will skip a digit and you will have 10 to the power minus 6. So still it is easy to follow because you know whether you're going to make 10 or 100. So you know how many, what will the dilution factor will be. Now let's say you take 0.1 ml. Not 1 ml, 0.1 ml, and you add it in 9.9 ml. So you're making a total of 10, but you're adding 0.1 in a total of 10. So when you do this and we have a decimal, we want to remove the decimal. So you multiply both sides with 10 to remove the decimal. So this is 1 into 100 is same as 1 into 100, and that is twice more than the tenfold, right? So now your dilution factor is going to be from 10 to the power minus 6, 7 and 8, that's going to be 8. So 10 to the power minus 8, that will be the dilution factor of your tube number 5. Now let's do one for the practice. Here I'm going to go ahead and write down the amount of sample I'm going to add in each tube and the diluent, and then we will together work the problem. So this is 1 ml in 9, 1 in 99, 0.1 in 9.9, 0.1 in 0.9, 1 in 9, 1 in 99, and then 0.1 in 0.9, and then 0.1 in 9.9. So if you just look at the numbers, it's easy to see 1 in 10. So you do 1 in 10. This is 1 in total of 100, so write 1 in 100. 0.1 in 0.1 in total of 10, so remove the decimal, 1 in 100. This is 0.1 in a total of 1 ml, because 0.1 plus 0.9, that's 1 ml. So 0.1 in 1 ml, that is 1 in 10 by removing the decimal. Then 1 in 10 again, and then 1 in 100, 0.1 in 1, so it's 0.1 in 1 ml total, that is 1 in 10 ml, and then 0.1 in 10, which is 1 in 100. So now we just have our working dilution factors here. I'm going to underline them so we can see them. Okay, there you go. So now to figure out the total dilution factor of the tube, all you have to do is count zeros. That's the easy trick. So here there's only 1 0, so this is 10 to the power minus 1. Then 1, starting again from the counting from the beginning, of course. So 1 2 3, so that's 10 to the power minus 3. 1 2 3 4 5, 10 to the power minus 5. 1 2 3 4 5 6, 10 to the power minus 6, then 10 to the power minus 7, 8 9, 10 to the power minus 10, 10 to the power minus 12, and this will be the total dilution factor of your tubes. Now remember, dilution factors are not always written as 10 to the power something, but they can also come as 0.1, which is same as 10 to the power minus 1, which is same as 1 to 1 in total of 10. So remember the conversions also when you're answering the questions. And that is a tenfold dilution.